Managing the provider archetype. We men have been told for centuries your value is in what you provide, in your worth, in the roof you build, the money that you bring, the security you create. But here's the hard truth, guys. If you only live as the provider, you risk becoming a prisoner of your own strength. The very role that gives you purpose can also suffocate you. And with today's society, how many of us are getting suffocated? So the question is, do we men need to better manage our provider archetype? I believe the answer to this question is yes. So let's break it down, shall we? Let's start with the strength of the provider. Powerful strengths, beautiful strengths. It's one of the oldest masculine archetypes that's existed. Think of the hunter leaving the cave back in the days to bring back food, or the builder carving out the shelter out of nothing. What a skill, what a gift. The drive to provide still fuels men today. It gives us purpose, direction and responsibility, and important ones. But here's the problem. When the provider takes over your entire identity, life shrinks. And I think it's happening more and more today. You become only what you do. It becomes our identity, your job title, your paycheck, your output. That's the scoreboard that you measure yourself against. And if you don't live up to it, you then criticize yourself. I've seen men lose themselves in this over and over again. A man who loses his job doesn't just lose income, he feels like he's lost himself, because our work can be our identity, but we're more than that. A man who earns well but is never home starts to wonder why his marriage feels hollow. A father who can provide every toy for his kids but has no time wonders why his kids don't open up to him. Now here's the shadow of our provider archetype. It whispers, you're only worthy if you produce. It pushes men to ignore the emotional and spiritual and relational needs in our lives. It can quietly drain our soul until resentment and burnout sets in. And I've seen that happen many times, and there's a video on burnout. Check it out. So, what's the answer? Do we throw the provider archetype away? No, absolutely not. The provider is a valuable part of ourselves. It makes men dependable and strong. The real solution is to manage it consciously. And here are 3 steps to help us men manage it much better than what we perhaps have. Step 1, redefining what providing means. Providing isn't just about money. You can provide presence, you can provide emotional safety, you can provide wisdom, stability and leadership and great qualities. A paycheck matters, yes, but your family also needs your laughter, your patience, your example. They need you. Imagine a man who builds a beautiful house but never lives in it. That's what happens when we only provide materially and forget the emotional and spiritual sides of life. Step 2, how do we integrate the other archetypes? These are important. The warrior archetype has courage, boundaries, protection, which is mentioned in that video up there, or that video up there in a previous episode. The lover archetype, the emotional depth, intimacy and passion. The magician archetype, insight, creativity and vision. When the provider partners with these other archetypes in ourselves, we become whole. You're not just the man who brings home the paycheck. You're the man who protects, who feels, who creates, who leads. Step 3, set healthy boundaries. Providing doesn't mean self-sacrifice to the point of collapse. And there's another video on burnout. Check that one out, up there or up there. You're not useful to anyone if you're burnt out or emotionally absent. Where's your presence? A balanced provider says, I will provide, but I also will live, love and grow. Now to cap it all up. So do we men need to better manage our provider archetype? Yes, because being a provider isn't the problem. The problem is when we confuse provision with identity. We get it mixed up. You're not just a paycheck. You're not just output, you are more. The strongest men I've ever met provide. Yes, but they also love deeply, they create boldly, they lead wisely, and they rest and recover unapologetically, taking time out. So ask yourself today, are you managing the provider archetype within yourself, or is it managing you? And if it's managing you, maybe it's time that you take your power back. Stop, reflect, develop some insight. Because being a man isn't about just building the house. It's about making sure you're alive inside it, enjoying it with your partner and your kids. Take some time out, stop and reflect, check in. Are you letting yourself being run by your provider archetype? If you are, make a comment below. Let's have some dialogue around this. Be gentle and enjoy.